Welcome to Pops and Hisses, a music podcast where you hear from the artists you love. I'm your host, Kevin Coffey, and in this episode we have Orenda Fink and Maria Taylor of Azure. I'm so glad to have them back on the podcast. Last time, not too long ago, we talked about their debut self-titled album, which was released in 2001. At the time, they had remastered and re-released the record, and now they're back with a brand new full-length album. It's their first full-length album in a decade, and it's called Remedy. It'll be out June 11th via Maria's label Flower Moon Records. So we talked about the record, what the pair have been doing during the pandemic, and how they hope these songs would be as soothing for listeners as they were for them. Real quick, I want to remind you that you can listen to the Pops and Hisses podcast and find music news, reviews, and interviews at popsandhisses.com. But right now, it's time for Orenda and Maria from Azure. Let's get into it. Tell me how this album started out. You guys haven't made a full length in 10 years. I mean, you made the EPs and you guys did the reissue. You've done lots of other stuff together, but how did this kind of project germinate and get going?
This is Maria. Mm-hmm. But once we were celebrating the 20th anniversary, we just started getting excited again about just us and she moved to California, so we were spending time together. So it just, we were like spending time like going through our past records and photos, and then COVID just hit, and so then we were just going through the emotions like everyone else, and we just started writing songs, and it just felt right. We were focused on Azure at the moment anyway, and then this has always been a source of therapy for us, and it's also been a very huge part of our friendship. So all signs pointed to let's make a record. And then it was pretty like we were writing a lot of songs because we had a lot of time and we were dealing with lots of emotions, and so we just kept sending each other songs, and we actually have a pretty good amount of songs left over. We didn't even use them all, that's pretty unlike us.
I know, especially with modern technology, distance isn't exactly the barrier it used to be, but was it nice being closer than you've been physically in a long time?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think like for Azure, it's because we both write individually, but it's part of one whole. It really is important for us to be connected on a personal level, and of course, being in physical proximity of one another just helps that so much. Like it is like you have friendships that like can pick up at any point, from long distance or time, but you're definitely going to be on the same page more if you're actually seeing each other, and spending time. So it was, I think it was definitely a big factor in, kind of committing to writing a full length record.
And when did you know, hey, we've got a full length? Was it, oh my God, we've got a lot of songs. We can actually make a full length record out of this. Or was that not something?
It was one day. I think one of us said, like, why don't we take all these, because, they kind of got not lost, but we were just sending each other songs. And so one of us had the idea, like, let's put them all on a playlist and let's each individually go for walks and let's just like see what we've got. And I remember Orenda writing me back and being like, I think what we've got is a record.
Yeah, I was surprised, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, because I'm guessing you guys just started out with trading some stuff and we'll see where it goes. And then all of a sudden, you have an album on your hands.
Exactly.
So getting to the actual making and recording, and all that obviously happened during the pandemic. How did you guys handle that? Did you actually get together, or was it more of the same kind of, I'm going to record this part, send it back and forth? How'd that work out?
We only got together once and we didn't really record. We got together more than that, but with our producer, we chose Brandon Walters, who is a friend of mine, and he's just amazing. And he did such a wonderful job, but Orenda had never met him. So we had one meeting, we all like quarantined, we got tested. I think Brandon got tested like 4 times to make sure that he didn't bring COVID to the desert. And we met at Orenda's house in the desert. And that was mostly just, to just to get together and to just connect as people. So, and we listened to stuff, and we talked about the record and what we wanted it to be like. But that was it. And then we just sang from each of our own houses, and we emailed tracks to Brandon, and he did it all from his house. So we were never together once.
That's amazing to me, especially with the way you guys sing together with harmonies and stuff like that. And this is also me just not being a singer, but it's hard to fathom how you guys do that, because it turns out so well.
We've been doing it together for so long now. It's like we talk in harmony and don't even realize it. So it's like, breathing. Right.
So, Maria, was that you said that you had known Brendan? How did you end up working with him for this?
Yeah, I knew him. One of my friends, Josh Radin, I went on tour with him, and Brandon was the guitar player. He plays guitar for Radin lots of times. And so I went on a Europe tour, and Brandon also aged. So I spent a whole tour in Europe with him and playing music with him. And I think he's such a great person on a personal level. And I just think he's one of the best musicians I've ever worked with. So, and he's always on tour. So this was also an opportunity where I was like, I bet Brandon is at home because he's not touring. Yeah. And so we asked, are you busy? And it just really, the stars were aligned. It worked out. He had time and he was excited to do it. And yeah, it was just it was great.
That's really cool. Yeah, I knew his name, but I didn't know he had played with Josh Radin before. That's cool.
He's also in Lord Huron, and they're a touring band.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone wants to tour with him because he's so great.
I noticed he
makes everyone sound.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he makes everyone sound good. But what were you gonna say?
Oh, I said he made a bunch of appearances in the Bad Dream video, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Well, it's because he plays like every instrument on every song. So yeah, it just wouldn't have been right to just have him pop in once. He had to at least be like, playing the keyboard from the toilet. Plus dancing around playing bass.
Yeah. I watched the two new videos, and they're both great, but that one was just really fun because it looked like a Snapchat, and it was just kind of flipping through people. How'd you guys make that? I mean, obviously I recognized a lot of faces in it. So did you just ask friends, hey, send me some stuff? How did that one come together? It just was so neat.
Yeah, we weren't sure at that point when we decided the concept for that video. Like, we didn't know when we were going to get vaccinated or when we were going to see people. So this was also just because of COVID. We were thinking of videos where we wouldn't have to see anyone or be around anyone. And my children during COVID have discovered a love for TikTok. So we were at dinner one day and they were just telling me all these TikTok stories, they were like more horror TikTok stories. And I was just like, you're going to have bad dreams. Stop. And then I don't know, it just clicked at the dinner table and I was like, wait a minute, this might be really fun. And then we could ask our friends to send any video. Cause the thing with TikTok is you just enjoy watching anything that people do. It's like, it's bizarre.
Yeah.
I'm not on it. I don't know. So my kids were just like introducing it to me. And then, we just asked our friends, and then I just thought it would be just kind of a fun, lightweight approach just to like have a visual, but also just, and Orenda had a great idea to incorporate like the shots and pictures of us with masks on, because then it really has this other whole element, which is like, this is just what we've all been doing for over a year, and it was a fucking bad dream.
Well, it felt like it felt like watching TikTok, but then it also felt like it was telling a story because it was you guys with masks and then other people, and then both of you getting your shots, which must have been cathartic. It's kind of funny to put that into the video when initially it started out as we're never going to be able to film a regular video together.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was fun. I love watching it just to watch our friends. We just have such fun friends. So it's entertaining for me still just to watch it.
Yeah. So just going on that note, I feel like the video too kind of encapsulated the song a little bit, which was kind of a summery jam kind of song, but also it's kind of the lyrics are filled with a little bit of anxiety. Was that what was going into writing that song?
Yeah, that one. I mean, I feel like I have, this is Maria, a little bit more of a pop tendency. You know, I like pop songs. And so that was my attempt to kind of write a pop song that would still fit within the parameters of Azure, but also you can't help but have the anxiety factors seep in, because that was just such a huge part of the last year and a half. I mean, just like dealing with my anxiety every single day was a challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my attempt for a fun, light song, and it turned into something in,
Well, that
in
song,
between.
on that note, made me think of very much last summer, where my wife and I are working from home. Our kids were off school at that time, and we're sitting around on our deck in the sun and enjoying the day. Oh, this is so nice. But then also in the back of our heads at the entire time being like, I'm so anxious about everything. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was just scary at the same time.
It was terrifying. I mean, there were moments where we're just like, is this the end of the world? You know, is this ever going to get better? Like, is this, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty amazed that we're all vaccinated right now. And it is starting to seem like a bad dream, because yeah, once we were in the middle of it, like we couldn't see any light at the end of any tunnel for a while.
Even when the last time we talked, which was a few months ago, I think we talked at the end, are you guys going to play any shows? Do you even know what's going to happen? And everyone, and you guys aren't the only ones. Everyone I've talked to at the time, we have no idea. No one has any idea what's going to go on. So how are you guys feeling now? Do you know if you're going to play some concerts maybe at some point? Maybe it's still hard to judge. It's odd for me to even be in a crowd at all, let alone think of going to a concert or performing at one.
Orenda, you there?
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we're maybe something Marie and I need to talk about, like if we want to book our own headlining shows. We've put our name in the ring for some opening slots and for some bigger bands in the fall. You know, we'll see how that shakes out. I know it's like a crazy time right now, but yeah, I don't know. It is kind of like a little scary to know exactly, like, you know, we're vaccinated, we feel good now, but, you know, do we want to be in a crowded spot? Or at what point, you know, what month do we feel comfortable?
Right.
You know, when are the vaccines going to wear off? Like, you know, it's like, there's so much unknown, but I mean, we're definitely up to playing shows. I think we just haven't been super proactive yet because of all the question marks.
Oh, definitely. Well, they announced Lollapalooza yesterday, day before, which is great. I'm glad they're doing it. That sounds like fun, but also it's full capacity. And I'm sitting there thinking, would I want to go to a music festival with 100,000 people?
Exactly. I mean, definitely
everyone is required to be vaccinated. Like, you have to show your card. I'm like, I don't know. Personally, I don't know that I can handle that yet. Like, I got to ease back into society, but
yeah, me too.
So another song I want to talk about, kind of a maybe, I don't know, it's not the other end of the spectrum really, but a different kind of sounding song was Remedy, which is a really gorgeous but quiet kind of acoustic song, but it's kind of full of that same apprehension, if that makes sense to me when listening to it. And I was just pulled in by that first verse of, you know, scared to stay, scared to move, and just comparing all these different feelings. Could you tell me about writing that song and what kind of went into it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I think, speaks to this, you know, especially kind of what's been going on in society over the last several years, in our, you know, society here in the US, probably everywhere to a certain extent, but just this kind of like loss of trust, you know, and in belief in a certain kind of future. You know, everything just kind of seems very like you don't know what to believe, and and you're kind of seeing these sides of people that are sides you've never seen before, and you know, there's just a lot of darker elements to the human condition that I've seen in my lifetime, you know. So it's kind of about that, kind of like losing trust and how to like move forward and how to think about that, you know. And yeah, just basically that I guess ultimately, it's kind of a cliche, but it's a true, some cliches are true, that it's kind of like you have to find it within yourself. It's like you're a remedy or there's none. Like if you're looking for the outside world to get better, to heal itself. I mean, this is just me. This is just the way I think. I think that you have to kind of start with yourself. It's like the man in the mirror.
Right. Well, yeah, you can't control the world. You got to start somewhere.
Right. It's like that kind of thing. It's like, what can you control? You can only control your reaction to any given set of circumstances. That's literally the only thing you can control in the world.
Right. And the song, musically, that song is just so pretty to me. And I like how, as you reach the end of the song, it starts to build up a little more as you hit the chorus again. I don't know. That's just such a cool song to me.
And that's all Brandon Walters' amazing production. Because he just gets, acoustic guitar basically and vocals. And so, maybe a melody here and there, but all of that production was stuff that he created on his own in his room.
In his room. Oh, I love it. So that song Remedy is what the album's named after. Is there a reason why you chose that as the album title?
Oh, that was Maria's idea. I think, when you finish a record, you kind of look through the lyrics, kind of comb through the lyrics or the song titles and kind of see which one fits, I guess, a greater mood. And Maria thought that Remedy was a perfect word to kind of fit the times, I guess, or, kind of what I guess our music has kind of served as like a salve to the soul, I feel like, over time. And so that's kind of what we're hoping that this could be also.
Yeah. Speaking of that made me think of Phantom Lover. Listening to that Baby It's All Right lyric with your guys' harmony, to me, is such a soothing line throughout that song that I listened to that song like 3 or 4 times. It was just like, oh, this feels good. If that makes
good.
sense.
Yeah, it's meant to.
Well, it worked. Very well done. And the video for that one was super cool too. Maria, were those your kids in the masks?
They were my kids.
Okay.
That was Orenda's idea. Sorry, I'm trying to get them ready for school, so I'm muting because there was a big fist fight with the 2 boys on our way out the door. Yeah, that was Orenda's idea to use them, and I love incorporating them in all of my work. So I was super excited, and they were so excited, and they did such a great job.
Yeah, it was really cool. And then I saw the credits had I don't know what the credit was, but Todd helped with something. So like Azure Family Affair. On that one.
Yeah. Again, it was kind of the like, well, it's, we're all vaccinated, but we didn't know that when we were conceptualizing these videos. So we were like, what can we do on our own? And so, yeah, Todd and our roommate, Jason, they filmed in addition to the DP with just these trail cams we bought on Amazon for like $40. So there were like 3 cameras on us while we were like, trying to lip sync in the total darkness with our 2 sons that are staying up way past their bedtime.
Yeah.
I was like feeding them Sprites and cookies all night.
I've been there. I've not had my kids into a music video, but I have had. I can hear just be cool for a little bit longer.
And stay awake, but be cool, even though you're really tired. No, they were good. They were great. And they're so proud of it. They want to like show their class.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So now we've got the record comes out, I guess it's just about a month, right? June 18th? Is that the day?
I think, or is it the 7th? I think it is the 18th.
It's totally okay if you don't know. I barely know what day it is today.
I think it's the 18th. Yeah. So that still seems forever away.
Are you guys obviously probably not playing a big, release party show or something, but maybe you are. I don't know. Are you planning anything special for the release or anything?
No, not yet. Actually, I'm going to be in Alabama visiting my family, and still we just weren't sure if people were going to be vaccinated and if it was a good time to play shows yet. So, we would have had to have booked it a while back, and we just didn't know. So yeah, I'd like to do some sort of show at some point for it, but right now we'll just have some, Zoom toasts and celebrate the same way we celebrate every day.
As we've done for the last
Yeah.
year.
Exactly.
Well, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you guys are able to do in the fall. Maybe, hopefully, you can come back to Omaha if that works out.
Yeah. See, well, fingers crossed. We'll see what develops in the next few months.
Yeah. It feels like light at the end of the tunnel, but still a whole lot of question marks all at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Are shows happening in Omaha right now?
They're starting to book them. So Maha Festival announces tonight.
Oh, nice.
They're scaling back they had gone to 2 days, but they're scaling back to 1, which is totally understandable. I mean, they had to skip last year. And,
right.
Waiting Room and Slowdown are starting to rebook. Slowdown basically closed the entire time until recently, and they're just starting to hire back. I mean, bartenders and sound people and stagehands. I mean, they basically let go of everyone. Even
Wow.
I don't know how well you guys know Dan Brennan, but their sound engineer, he's been the number one employee there since it opened, and he even was without a job for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's no shows, so they couldn't do anything, but they're reopening and rehiring and starting to book stuff. Things are starting to roll in. I don't think there's a touring show until July, maybe.
Right. Yeah, that's here. I mean, all of the venues and bars have been closed, every single one of them. And I don't know if anyone's even doing shows yet here, but I feel like they will soon.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know it takes so long to spin up a touring show. You got to book it in advance and hire people and have a van or whatever. It might take you 2 or 3 or 4 months to just if you decide to do it today. So
yeah, exactly.
But the calendars are starting to fill in, so I'm feeling hopeful about real life somewhat returning. We'll see.
Yeah, me too. I mean, God, just last weekend we had a night where 6 of our good girlfriends, we all got together in one hotel room and had a night, just even stuff like that. It's just okay, things are they're getting back.
We went to, my kids were watched by my mom, but we went to a bar. It was quiet. There weren't a lot of people there, and that felt good, but we actually were out in a place and had a beer.
Wow. That sounds so fun.
It was awesome and so weird.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's going to be my next step. I'm just going to go in a bar, have a couple of drinks.
So, yeah. Well, that's all the stuff I wanted to ask. Is there anything else you two want to talk about or mention?
I don't think so, Orenda.
No, I think that probably covers it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to I had to take care of the boys fighting for a minute there.
I'm amazed that I personally didn't have to break up a fight between my boys. So, probably just because I'm hiding in the basement.
Well, I know. That's what my husband went for a walk, and I was like, well, I'll just be outside. It'll be fine. I didn't think, I don't know. I just thought it's early in the morning. I didn't really think a big fight was going to break out before school.
Oh, you never know. Yeah.
You never know. Don't underestimate the young boys.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys so much for talking to me. As always, I always love catching up with you, and I love the new record. I'm looking forward to the rest of the world being able to hear it. So
thank
you so much.
Thanks for listening to my talk with Maria Taylor and Orenda Fink of Azure. Check out their new album Remedy when it's released on June 11th via Flower Moon Records. I hope you love it as much as I did. I also want to remind you to subscribe to the Pops and Hisses podcast on your favorite podcast app, or head to popsandhisses.com, where you can listen to it and find more music news, reviews, interviews, and of course, lots more podcast episodes. I'm your host, Kevin Coffey, and you can follow me on Twitter as @Omaha Music Guy, or find my page on Facebook by searching for Kevin Coffey. My last name is spelled Coffey, by the way. I always want to say thank you to Hurrdat Media for producing the show, and I encourage you to check out Hurrdat's network of podcasts. There's entertainment, there's sports, there's fitness. We've got something for everybody. Find all of those podcasts and lots more topics at hurrdatmedia.com/network. That's HURRDAT media.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
A Hurrdat Media Production.